Hello everybody and welcome to CLN. This is Falcus reporting live with the EMT team today. Hello EMTs.
Hello.
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 So I believe you all have some wonderful new toys which you have clearly on display. Shall we go through the team and see who we have here? So starting from left to right, who is this that we have kneeling down in the white helmet?
It's your Chief, Robin.
This is the Chief Robin. Hello Robin. And
Hello.
I believe this is Slayer Tom.
Yep.
Hello
Right.
Slayer. And who
Hello.
would this one be? This be Kenny?
Yes, the one and only fabulous.
Hello
Sophie.
Kenny. And is this our new Proby?
Yes, this is a fabulous Proby tuxedo.
It is Tuxedo Blue. And what is your name, sir?
This would be Hillbilly.
Hello Hillbilly. Well, hello gentlemen.
What's going on?
And you all seem to have some wonderful new toys. Do you want to tell me about them and what you have got?
Well, basically, the car Hillbilly is standing to the left of, over here, is the old EMT Charger. We're just putting on display so you can see the comparison between old and new. Our good Deputy Chief now, Slayer Tom, has been working for like a month to remake the skins for the Chargers into these lovely ones. So, as you can see now, we have a Coast Guard Charger, which is in a nice UK-themed livery. Then another UK-themed livery is the Paramedic one and the Fire Department one. And the Mountain Rescue one is a cross between a UK Humvee Mountain Rescue car and a American, like the one, what's that one from Transformers? You know, Ratchet, that's it. Like the one from that one, yeah.
So a lot of inspiration from Transformers then.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So basically, the Coast Guard one is, as you can see, the yellow and the blue. If you look up in Coast Guard in the UK, you'll see that that type of blue and the yellow are used on our cars in the UK. The Paramedic is heavily inspired from UK design. We just love the
Robin,
design and think it's very easy to see. It's very visible.
The distinct between the CLPD and yours.
Yeah. One of the main key concepts of making the skins was to make it so that they're very visible and stuff. Now, obviously, we did have the nice bright / dark red. It's not incredibly bright, but it's obviously that is easy to see. But just how it kind of just looks like a normal kind of red Charger from a distance. Whereas with these, with the Battenberg pattern on the sides, you can quite clearly see it's an emergency vehicle. And,
so it's the paramedics, and same with the Coast Guard. You can see like the logos and.
Yes.
Is there any?
The own logo.
Is there any difference in speed between all three of them?
No, unfortunately. Unfortunately, these were just skins. As
That one.
at the current time, the only cars we have at the moment are the Chargers. So we were trying to get some variation, as just having every EMT drive around the same car, it gets a bit boring for the civs and the PD. You know, every time just the same red car goes by and stuff. So having some variation helps us a lot. The design ethos, I believe, behind the Mountain Rescue one is, obviously it's a Mountain Rescue car. It doesn't really go on the roads that much, so obviously it needs to be visible, which is why we went for the yellow. We like the yellow design, and we do love the strip down the side. It makes it look very nice. But the idea is it'll be going up mountains and trying to rescue people up there, rather than going on the roads. Hence why it doesn't have the Battenberg design, which is meant to be reflected at night. But
so, is there any plans to strengthen the suspension of the mountain?
I believe there's plans to get some more cars and stuff like that. I did inform some of the PD and CIV population that we did have a very big shipment of cars coming from our old base at Chernarus, as Chernarus country became too war-stricken and the Russians moved in and invaded. We were transporting all our cars in a giant cargo container ship. Unfortunately, the cargo container ship was hit by a torpedo from a Russian ship.
That's terrible. So the speed of these cars, obviously being EMTs, you guys need to get round quite fast around the map, Altus being a big place.
Yes.
What's the speed limit then? What are we talking about? What's the max? And
well, Basically, the max these cars will go is around 300, maybe 350, and if you're lucky, you might get 400 out of it. You're going downhill. They are alright to handle, however, them only having stock tyres and rims, and that makes them a bit harder, as we having to have some bog standard chargers. As I was saying with the cargo container ship,
all
the
the
cargo containers we could salvage were in the chargers.
right,
So
I see.
they're only bog standard ones.
So we have
that
box
we had.
standard chargers and
Yes.
none of the fancy wheels or
Nah. And unfortunately, it's we were also a bit stricken on funding to import some new cars, and the waters are a bit dangerous at the moment with the Russians hanging about places.
I was going to say, we had
Somalian
to
pirates and everything.
Yeah, Somalian pirates.
Okay.
We had to rely on them, so we're trying to get them, but it's hard importing them, new cars and such.
What about the handling of
later.
these cars? Obviously, you've got to turn sharp corners, the
Yes.
narrow streets of Kavala. Are these nimble enough to get round the sharp corners?
They are nimble. They are not the best handling cars. We'll be completely honest. We have to do some quite intense training to learn properly how to handle these things at high speeds. But we're trying to train our EMTs up in dealing with these cars and dealing with some vehicles and such in the future.
Right, I've noticed you've tried to mimic the mirror image writing on the front of the cars. Does that actually work then in game with the wind mirrors and stuff?
They should. We could unlock one of the cars, and if you jump in the
Okay.
paramedic one over here. One second, no. My keys are a bit damaged. Sat on them. So if you jump in the passenger seat, try and get on the inside so you can see the mirror. Oh wait,
Okay,
you might want to
hold
get
on.
on the driver's side.
Is the driver's side that gets in on?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm looking at the wrong car.
Yeah.
They all look the same, but they don't. Okay, I
In the
see.
front?
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to drive in front, and if you look through the mirror... Oh, the mirrors, they're a bit...
But you can't see it, basically. You would be able to...
It does work.
It does work, and you would be able to see it and stuff. Obviously, with higher cars like the Land Rover, or the Range Rover, sorry, being such a high car, you'd be able to see it in the ring mirrors and such.
Yes.
So, right. So why don't you tell me about the interior of your car then? You seem to have an onboard screen here. Is this for your GPS and stuff?
This is a very nice thing we had installed from Dodge as sorry for the only cars we can have and not being able to ship any new cars to us. They sent some engineers over and they started installing night vision and thermal vision in all the cars. Basically, it means that we can find people using the car at night with much better precision and such. Apparently, the picture and that is broken too.
I can quite see
Yes,
it
you
though.
can see it?
You can see it though, yeah. So you can see like the heat vision there working and the night vision and such. What about the ride comfort for you? Because these are quite comfy seats that we're sat in, especially with the seatbelts. Do you mind if I fasten a seatbelt?
You may.
Okay, the seatbelts are quite comfy. So what about the hand grip of the car? Driving it round. Is the ride, quality of the ride fairly comfy in the job for long?
It's quite comfy. As you can see, we've got these very nice leather seats, as this is a Dodge Charger 2012. The seats are nice and they're comfy and they get the job done. Most of the time we're hopping in and out of the seats anyway, so comfort isn't our main priority, but they do help. We do have some, if you look in the back you can see some of the nice bits of kind of water resistant leather in the back.
Yeah,
break in. Why don't you bring in for a real call? We just got one just down the road.
Okay then.
I'll head over to that. Could you inform the rest of the EMTs I'm going for that, please, Rob?
We're grabbing the call at Kavala.
So basically, we would find where the call is. So it's just down the road, thankfully. So it's a lot easier to get to, and we just drive off. Obviously, we've got watching the news feed. Oh god, there's a bus. Please pull over for the EMTs. We're here to help. If you don't pull over, then we might hit into you, and it costs lives and people die. And as you can see, we do have a fire here. So, could I request a fire department charger on the way, please?
Fire department en route.
So, Falcons, as you can see here, we do have
help me, please.
a very bad rush. 2 cars are on fire.
Don't
so
drive
just
off.
Stay back. There is a bus wing, so we do have to watch out.
So you have to watch out
Yeah,
for
the bus
buses and
drivers are a
stuff,
bit-
yeah? So how, with this fire now, how are you going to save this person then? How are you actually going to get in and rescue them?
Watch out,
help
bus.
me! Talking about buses, there's one. Hey, Falco.
I'm just gonna pull over here so the bus can get through without any problems. The person should have been revived by our chief. The cars are in the way though, unfortunately.
So basically the person's on top, in the car's on top of them?
I believe Robin managed to pull them out and get them safe. There's only a few burns. I
the
think.
hill? EMT man.
Should be fine.
EMT,
Um,
stop running away. Can I please get a heal? I
Now
came back to
we'll
life.
call a repo to come and repossess the cars.
I'm
as
very
they are
hurt.
completely burnt out and they need to be.
If at all possible, I'd appreciate it.
Right, I see. So do repos get called out a lot then to your jobs
Yes.
then? So you work hand in hand with repos? And I can see CLPD are on scene here. I take it you work hand in hand with the CLPD?
Yes, we do. Being neutral, we aren't allowed to call them for crimes and stuff, but they do help with
You didn't
managing
yell
the
me.
population round
What's your-
the calls
what's
and
your name?
such.
Okay. And what's the EMT doing now? Because I can see he's placing down cones and stuff. I take it he's putting down a...
It's a bit of a warning so that people coming by can
What's
see
your
the
name,
reflected
sir? I'm
bones.
gonna have to send you
You
a
could
med
use the new road barrier light things that Robin got
Yeah,
put in, maybe.
I'll
yeah,
put some down.
Pull one of them
needed
out.
for this.
I'll put
You
down
see
a
it? I just typed
diversion
it.
sign if you want, Robin.
Yeah, it's one at the end on the right field. So we can
Okay.
have one lane open for traffic.
There you go, sir.
Did we
You
get a
receive
repo
it, flyer.
Yes, we did.
I need a cop. Cop, are you a cop? Hey, cop. Hey, cop. Hey, cop. Cop. Could you follow me? I want to take you somewhere so you can come get rid of this. Please to follow me.
So the new checkpoint builder then that you're using now, how much of an improvement is the new checkpoint system then from the old one?
The old one, we had to place things by looking at them, and it was quite difficult to use it properly and effectively. This new one is much more fluent, and it gives us hitboxes and stuff, so we don't place things inside each other and such.
And it's
As you can see
also,
now.
it's also much easier to put things in a straight line, which we usually
Yes.
have to do at traffic accidents and stuff like that.
Yeah. So as you
Right.
can see now, we've got a diversion left. We've also got a nice orange light thing, which people can see from a lot further away than obviously the diversion sign. So it helps people know what they're looking for.
Obviously, anybody who hasn't seen the checkpoint builder, I believe if you go to the CLRPG YouTube channel, there's a video of
Can I
that.
have a health kit, please? I was that
Yes.
close to the explosion and my head kind of hurts.
Okay, so there's a civilian here. I'm just gonna go over.
EMT. I possibly get a ride to the ATM. Can I get a ride to the ATM?
At the moment, I'm a little stuck at this scene.
So, do EMTs give lifts to civilians?
We're waiting for the repos and stuff at the moment, so I'm a little bit busy.
EMTs will give lifts to nice civilians after they've been revived.
Right.
If they needed to get to where they were, to their stuff and etc. like that. We aren't. Oh god!
Oh my god!
Explosion.
It sounds like we've got another explosion.
Let's go!
Yeah,
Deploy!
jump in the car, Falcos.
Okay.
I'm not coming with.
So, how many calls a day do you often get then?
We get a lot. So, Robin, if you want to stay here, we'll wait for the call to come in. Unless the car just blew up by itself and not killed anyone.
I give a feedback on stuff.
Yeah. We're just going to see if there actually was any deaths. Fire department, if you want to head up into the explosion, see if you can see any fire or whatever.
Yeah, I'm on scene now.
So we're just waiting for repo here at the moment as well.
Yeah,
Falcos.
can my communication kind of bugged out? Did we get a response from the repo?
I'm not sure. I could ask again.
Yeah, just ask again because we really need to get the road cleared.
Yeah.
So, if there's no repo, do the EMTs have their own repo departments, Robin?
Currently not, but I guess it's in the workings.
Yeah.
Okay.
SJ is working on it. Falcos, we're just going to go back to the
102, 101.
station. Just airdrop apparently just came in for me.
Yeah, we need to give people away from 04113 suspected explosive device in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I might want to call the ED. As I said, my communication is hard now, but I think it's very good.
That's a great stop. So Falcos, we're just going to drop this off. Some stock was needed at the paramedic station.
So you have different stations then for the different divisions you have. Do the different divisions then have different do they have different roles and responsibilities then?
At the moment, we're all working together as a big team to try and sort things out and stuff, because we don't have the over amounts of equipment and vehicles and helicopters, etc., and ships needed to properly fulfill a lot of the duties of the EMT service. So at the moment,
once the next shipment of cargo comes in from Cherno or Stratus, we'll get that.
Yeah, the main production factories are on Stratus. A lot of companies moved there as it's one of the neutral places that the Russian Federation and NATO and that aren't fighting over and such. So a lot of car companies have moved their production lines over there, so we're waiting for some shipments from Stratus. However, the waters between Stratus and Altis are still a bit hazy, so the car companies are trying to work something out between both NATO, the Russian Federation, and the Iranian forces to try and help us out.
Okay. So later on then, what's the future going to look like for Coast Guard then? Obviously, with them being a water-based
joined your channel.
team.
Buddy was moved to your channel.
Well, at the moment we've handed out free life rafts to the Civ, which is something you can just put in your backpack or a vest or whatever. And basically, if you are in trouble at sea, you quickly inflate it, and it becomes a big life raft. Has a canopy over it to protect yourself from the rain, and you need to lie down in there and wait for rescue.
Right.
Once the thing is deployed, once the life raft is deployed, we get a message. It automatically messages us by pulling out a pin between two things, which sends a radio signal to tell us that you need help. And Coast Guard will be getting those calls and stuff from people that are drowning.
So it's like a black box then. So how long would the black box last then on these life rafts?
On the life rafts, they last around 10 minutes.
Right.
Our usual response time to a Coast Guard call is around 3 to 5 minutes, depending on where it is and what equipment you're using. Unfortunately, we don't have abundance of helicopters and trained helicopter pilots at the moment, so we may need to use boats to come and rescue people, or simply swim out using wetsuits to the people on the coast.
Right.
But we're getting some money together. We've got some grants from the government to help us with that, and help us with getting the EMT service properly up and running.
Okay, so that's the Coast Guard then. And what about the, I believe you have a mountain rescue division. What is the future going to be for them then? What equipment can we look forward to seeing that they'll be getting?
Well, mountain rescue shall be getting some heavy choppers and light choppers, to help them survey large areas and stuff. One of the helicopters we have ordered for them is the Lynx. We're not sure if we're going to get it yet. It's dependent on the company that makes them. But we're hoping to get a nice linked helicopter delivered over soon in mountain rescue colours.
Yeah, so they'd have to
ATVs as well.
So they'd have to retrofit them and stuff.
Yeah, basically we're for mountain rescue. We're hoping to get a wide range of off-road vehicles that are capable of going up mountains and hills and such, and climbing around rocks and hilly terrain and just rough terrain in general. Their main job will be to get to calls which normal road cars, such as the main paramedic cars, would not be able to get to in time, whereas they would be able to go, say, 150 to 200 kilometers an hour off-road. The paramedic cars would only be able to go maybe 80.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if I've missed any of the division. Oh, obviously the fire division, the fire department.
Yeah.
They've got most of their equipment in at the moment, as I can see you wearing the lovely red uniforms and stuff. Is there any plans to make their uniforms slightly different? Is there plans to bring in different coloured skins for the uniforms?
We're talking to some local tailors and stuff, and we're going to try and get some different uniforms for each one. If I took my backpack off here and you looked on my back, you would see this is actually a paramedic uniform.
Oh, right, so this isn't the fire one.
This is our old paramedic uniform.
Yeah, so the pure, like the red
uniform that we had imported from Chinaris. Yet again, most of our new gear sunk on that poor ship. Fortunately, our Coast Guard was near the area with a helicopter, and we were able to save a lot of the crew. Unfortunately, 5 perished. But, there was nothing we could do for them. We tried to send divers in, but they were locked in a broken airlock. And the water rushed in. We were able to recover the bodies and give them to their families, though.
So, obviously this is the Kavala Hospital. This will be the main base for the paramedics and such.
Yes.
Shall we go for a tour around your other parts that you have now? Because I believe you have new buildings for EMTs.
Yeah, they're slightly still under construction. At night we get some construction workers to go in and start, changing things and such. But they are usable at the moment, so we started using them.
Okay.
And at the moment, the insides of the hospital and the second, third, and fourth, and 5th floor are all being removed of asbestos.
Right.
Because the station.
So a lot of refurbishing going on in Kavala then.
So basically, we've had to lock the doors to the other bits of it. We still have access using the stairs on the outside. Unfortunately, the elevators, because of the asbestos removal, are down as well. So we're trying our best to deal with what we can here, but things take time to refurbish and such. So, is there a particular preference you would like to go see?
Any way, whichever the closest one is. So, what would be the closest to Kavala then?
Probably Mountain Rescue.
Shall we go and check out there first?
Well, we could drive there. Helicopters just turned up. We could ask for a helicopter transport.
If you want to give a helicopter transport, that would be brilliant.
It'd be a lot faster. 1 second. Could we get this radio channel, please?
I mean, I don't want to take a helicopter out of commission if he's going to be needed.
Well, I mean, I can keep mine out. That would be fine. I'll take mine out, that's fine.
Greetings, we are anonymous.
Please excuse me.
Do the helicopters have different skins then, or are they slowly...
Not at the moment. With the same paint company, we got to do the cars. We're talking to them as well to try and get some of the current helicopters we have, the Mohawk and the Littlebird, into some different colours and stuff, more updated to what we have now. So, for instance, we're hoping that the Littlebird can be reskinned into like a white and green instead of the current red, because it's an old colour scheme and livery.
If you guys are taking a chopper tour, make sure to show them the beautiful Coast Guard station.
Will do.
So, do each station have their own individual sort of look and feel, I take it then?
Yeah.
Obviously with, obviously different, stations need to have different abilities to do different things. So your Coast Guard would be on the coast with water facilities, and then obviously we're going to go to Mountain Rescue now on the mountains. There'll be more helipads.
Coast Guard and Mountain Rescue, all of the stations, if you'd like to go with a helicopter, all the stations will have helipads, as all the divisions will have helicopters. So the main function for helicopters with paramedic is to take people to hospital and such things, and respond to very far away calls, which the cars will be able to get to very easily. So in doing so, having an air ambulance, we can much more effectively get to calls which are very far away from where the cars are based, and the response times quite monitoring them and such, so they'll have some cameras on them, mainly to just do that. The Coast Guard helicopters will have winches, and we'll be able to, some of them which will be able to land on water in the near future, some of the ones we've ordered. And the Mountain Rescue, they'll have winches and baskets and such. They'll be able to do low flying and fast flying them with cameras as well to help find people. Same thing with Coast Guard, really. So all of them will hopefully have helicopters, so they'll all have helipads. The only difference is that with the planning, the Coast Guard and Mountain Rescue will have more helipads than the fire department and the paramedics, as they're more needed and more helicopter based.
Right, and obviously because it's all like the one team EMT units, you could then call on the Mountain Rescue to come and help if you need like air units and stuff.
Yeah, the both the Mountain Rescue and the Coast Guard, obviously, that is also to help, revive people, heal people and such, and take people to the hospital if they need it. Different areas and different types of terrain and such. So, if needed, if an air ambulance unit isn't available at the time, we can call upon Coast Guard and the mountain rescue helicopters to come help if really needed.
So, what should a new person who's looking for a career in EMT, what should he be looking to get? How would one go about joining the EMTs?
Well, the apps would need to be open, which they are at the moment. They would need 1 week from being accepted into mod, and 1 week crime-free. Then they need to use an app using the template on the forms under the EMT application section. The application would then be reviewed, and an interview would be given with the candidate and a ride-along as well, to determine whether the candidate will be fit for EMT service. Then after that, the application will be further reviewed by EMT command and supervisors to see whether the candidate is one that we want within the EMT service. If the application is accepted, the personnel will then be taken into training and trained how to use certain aspects of the EMT service, such as reviving, dealing with fires, etc., and health and safety. So, as you can see here, we have the mountain rescue station. Some changes are coming in terms of the logo up here. This is a vinyl logo. It's stuck onto the side of the stone at the moment. We're basically getting a nice acrylic 3D printed one being made, and that's going to go on the side. And there, as you can see, the plaque of the Mountain Rescue logo, that is being replaced with another nice acrylic logo that basically says MR for Mountain Rescue.
Right. So I've noticed that the roof is yellow. Obviously, each building then is colour-coded to the division that building belongs to. So mountain rescue colours are yellow. I guess the fire one be red and the Coast Guard be blue?
No, the Coast Guard is orange, because
orange,
the main role of the Coast Guard will mainly be using the helicopters, which are orange and white. So basically, the main role of Coast Guard being the helicopters, we decided to orient the colour scheme of the base to the helicopters, as well as blue already being one of the colours used by the police department.
The CLPD.
We don't want to get we don't want to give our get our people Altis confused with these things. So as you can see, we have doors in here which are sliding.
Right. And then we have the reception desk.
We have the reception desk. Unfortunately, no chair at the moment. Yet again, another shipment.
Poor reception girl. Standing on her legs for 6 hours.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has to happen. We do have some weeds growing through the cracks in the floor, unfortunately. This one we killed off with some plant killer, so we're going to remove it in a short while.
One door in, one door out, basically, so it's
We have a roll-through garage, so basically we just
roll
the doors
through.
open like that. Yeah, so basically you can either reverse a large vehicle in here, or if you have a small vehicle, you can just drive it around the back and in. So it helps a lot with things. To just help with the smooth, transition between, instead of people getting stuck at the front of the substation. These dividers here are just here temporarily. We are getting them painted. They're just here to mark out where things are.
Okay.
Also, it helps with the construction vehicles that come, so they don't run into each other and such.
Yeah.
At night, so the driver can obviously feel they're running over a one of these concrete things. If you come around the front again,
okay.
You'll see that the garage is quite large.
So
we can fit.
So what type of vehicles are you going to be able to fit in this then? You're going to be able to fit the ambulances and stuff?
Yeah. The vehicles we're hoping to use and put in this station are things like Land Rovers, Range Rovers, and mainly off-road vehicles and such. So they'll be quite bulky and stuff, but we're hoping that if we really needed to, we can cram about 4 vehicles in here, which 2 of which could drive out at the same time if really needed or necessary. But obviously, due to health and safety, we probably wouldn't do that. We'd have one go out at a time.
Okay.
But we can fit approximately 4 vehicles in this bay, which helps us because having only one bay, obviously, if it's a small door, then it's awkward. But having just one door instead of lots, it saves us on energy and power consumption.
So upstairs is obviously like the administration officers and such.
Unfortunately, at the moment, the builders haven't got round to implementing the glass panes and stuff and the locker room, etc. upstairs. So at the moment, most EMTs that go here, they go here and wait in their cars for calls and such. But there's not really any administrative stuff going on here. We're using the main hospital at the moment for that. But it will change soon when we get this all furbished up.
Right, so this is obviously the closest base to Kavala, so you obviously get a lot of your air units and a lot of support from this base. How far is the Coast Guard then from here?
From here, the Coast Guard is around 9.5, 9.6 kilometres from here.
Right, so quite far then.
It is quite far, yeah. But with the
support,
the size and scale of the island, having the helicopters and the fast response cars really does help. We can travel 9 kilometers in about 8 minutes, which means that we can get to a call halfway across the map from Kavala. Obviously, if we drive faster and civs move off the road and we don't have to slow down for the civs and such, it helps us a lot, and we can get there a lot faster and perhaps save someone you might know. But I have noticed since the RNT service has moved to a new country, the civilians here are much nicer than they were in Chinaris. The civilians in Chinaris were very grumpy and such.
It must be the fresh air from the beach and the nightlife here.
Yes. It must be because I was responding to a call the other day, and I remember on Chinaris I would have to swerve around several cars, but I went past 6 civilians altogether, and all of which pulled over to the side a good distance away from the road, allowing me to use the full amount of the road to turn a corner at some points and get through things a lot quicker than I would have if they were blocking me. Okay. Obviously, it is a criminal offence to not yield to an EMT. We will press charges if you do not yield. Does harm the people's lives that we're trying to save, and it can harm us. We've known some fatal crashes to some of our EMTs when people don't yield for them.
So, how often do you have to get the police involved with your, like, trying to revive someone and stuff, and the interactions that you have with the CLPD? Is it a daily basis, or...?
It's mainly a daily basis, as unfortunately Altis is quite crime-ridden, and people do like running around with guns thanks to the open carry laws and such. But obviously, it's better. It helps kids sleep safe at night. If you don't run around with a gun, you put it in a gun bag or put it in a backpack, whatever, and such. But unfortunately, people do like to do crime on the island. And so sometimes there may have been a shooting, and we do have to contact CLPD to go and clear the area before we go in. As being unarmed and with no protection, we do have to wait for them to clear the way and make sure that we're not going to get shot at as we go in there. As the civs get grouchy when we try and save someone they try to kill.
So we're approaching the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, yes.
Is there anything that people need to know about the outside of it?
There are a few instructions of boats that have started rotting and decaying within the ground. We're hoping to move them shortly, as well as some of the storage holes and stuff. We do have a large dock for a large ship we're going to be getting later in the future. We're hoping to get an old Coast Guard ship from America.
Right.
Some of the changes that are coming to the Coast Guard station is this access stairwell is being removed. It's just going to be one large ramp.
Right.
As with the other station, these temporary heavy-duty fences to stop the construction vehicles falling into the ocean and such, and falling off of the mound. They're being removed and replaced with some very nice and stylish glass things. They're quite thick glass, so you can hit it with a car at substantial speed and it won't break and shatter.
So it'll be quite durable and stuff. And obviously with the metal poles, it'll have like a wire framing going through the glass. So you have two entrances.
Yeah, we have two garages which can fit around 2 cars in each. Obviously, Coast Guard don't really use cars. The only need to use cars is to get calls from the actual coast. So it's not their main priority. With these red concrete walls, again, these are heavy duty to stop the construction vehicles and stuff falling into the water, as it is quite a drop, and obviously the water will ruin the vehicle.
So you have 3 bays here then for 3 different sea vehicles. What type of sea vehicles are your Coast Guards looking on getting then for their daily duties?
We're getting some rib boats, which are very durable, and we've used them on Chernarus, and we feel like we should use them here. There's some rescue speedboats and such which can fit in here. Basically, we have this large bay in here because there's a river that comes down, so we let the water flow through, and so we have this very large bay.
So that'll help you speed up the deboating sequence, so you can just shoot out the bay.
It also means that we can fit much larger boats within this section. These sections on the side are mainly for smaller boats, like the speedboats and the dinghy and such. Some of the other changes in here are the big red walls. They're going to be cut. They're going to be taken off, and we quite like the top of them. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to add the top of these, and then add some more of those nice glass walls to stop people from falling in and cars from falling in.
Right.
So we're trying to go for a nice stylized look and such to make the station look nice and livable and presentable.
So it's more of a modern style then.
Yeah.
And also going to just jump in the chat of your stream now if anyone have any questions regarding EMTs.
Yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to post on the live stream, and Robin will answer your questions about joining or any issues you may have with EMTs and regarding such.
I will just jump in there. One of the other vehicles we're hoping to get for the Coast Guard is a submersible. There's a little 2-man submersible that we may be getting, which will help us get to all the underwater calls.
So how does the underwater calls affect the Coast Guard then? Obviously with people like deep sea diving for like coral and fish and stuff.
Yeah.
I take it you're hoping to get that supplied and then...
Yeah. One of the things we have looked into with the submersibles is with our raft, sometimes it can deflate on its own, and sometimes if people are killed at sea, their raft gets deflated by the criminals. So basically their bodies can sink to the bottom of the floor, so we do need to put on some diving gear and go find them. Obviously, though, trying to swim all the way out to, say, the middle of the bay here.
Yeah.
If you got your map out, you would see where we are and the giant bay that's around us. If someone was in the middle of the bay, it would be a very long time to swim there using the diving gear. And obviously we could use a boat, but sometimes they can be quite deep. The water does get quite deep in some points, sometimes to maybe 200 or I think I've seen 250 meters. It gets extremely dark down there, and with the submersible, we can turn on lights, which are high beam powered lights that basically enable us to find the person in deep waters, which mean we can save them effectively.
Okay, you were saying earlier on about the other mountain rescues going to be getting some of its logos changed to acrylics and stuff. Is Coast Guard getting the same treatment as like the
same
signs and stuff?
To Coast Guard. We've hired quite a nice company, a design company, to make us some stylized signs and such. They are using a new 3D printer, which is extremely fine, to print an acrylic Star of Life, which will go 3 of which we'll put on the individual stations for Fire Department, Coast Guard, and Mountain Rescue. The Star of Life is put there as it's the symbol of the EMT. It helps people identify the stations and such as EMT. So for Coast Guard, it will have a nice acrylic panel with CG on it.
Right. And the upstairs, have the offices been fitted in with the communications and stuff, or are you still waiting for...
The same company that's doing the Mountain Rescue and the Fire Department, they are still getting all the materials, and they're still making the big glass panels and such, and ordering parts and stuff. They basically want to basically install it in one night, so that less interruption is made to the EMT service as possible. If you would like to follow me.
Okay.
Just go inside and I'll show you the bay doors.
So do you get a lot of fishers trapped in the bay doors? Obviously, like, with you being on the coast.
The fish generally don't come up to the bay doors. It's a bit strange, but they seem to be warded off by the actual doors.
Right.
It's incredibly strange, but they don't like coming near it and such. But as you can see with this bay door, it swings open. It doesn't displace much water. We have them only slightly lowered in so that obviously the water can flow through. But if you come down and you look at the doors, obviously, as I just said, they don't go all the way to the ground. And the seafloor. This means that people can swim into our base and access the inside garage and such. So we've contracted the same company that did the bay doors to come and fit a mesh, a mesh gate, which will lift up and down to seal the gap between them, but obviously allow the water to still flow through, but not allow divers and such to get in here and obviously try and steal medical equipment,
the vehicles and stuff,
syringes and stuff. Yeah,
morphine addicts, still terrible. Had them in CL in Generous, and now they've come to Alders.
Yeah. So unfortunately the officers aren't in at the top, and waiting for some. There's some new windows coming for the top of each station, which has some of this clouded glass kind of effect on it.
Oh, so you could like see out and then
the way it's done is quite nice. As most of the time, it's usually just some kind of plastic cover sealed on with glue and such. But the ones we're getting done, the glass has been created with holes in them, and they're pumping in. This nice glass, glass cloudy kind of liquid stuff, which basically will cool inside and set, and basically it'll make a nice cloudy glass effect whilst being inside of the actual window.
Right. And what equipment do you expect to get for the Coast Guard up here? Obviously, you're going to get like radar sensors and stuff. And,
we're hoping to get some radar sensors. We've ordered some water tanks and stuff so that we can wash the boats and the vehicles, because obviously vehicles will be going on the sand and such.
Right.
So obviously they'll get quite dirty, and obviously we don't want sand and barnacles and stuff getting on the vehicles and ruining
And into the
them, so
engines and...
Yeah. And so basically we're going to have these water tanks so we can shoot high pressure water at the cars and the boats and stuff to get rid of these things.
Okay, so we've seen paramedics at Kavala. We've now been to Mountain Rescue, and this is Coast Guard. I believe we have Fire is the last department to go and see?
Yeah, Fire Department, yes.
Right.
With Coast Guard as well, we've ordered a Russian helicopter. It's part of the sorry that the Russians are giving us for taking down our cargo ship, as they thought it was carrying weapons.
So obviously all the receptions have the same desk then? They all have, but they all have like their own logos on the desk.
Yes. It's the logo of the division.
Of that division to that desk then.
Yeah. We spent a lot of money on the actual stations and stuff, so I decided I would design the logos myself. So I went and started concepting some ideas and stuff, and came up with the final logos you see on some of the vehicles and such, and in the stations. I then went to a professional company and got them, printed onto the wood and stuff like that. But however, we are thinking of replacing the reception desks. They're a bit old; they were refurbished and such, so thinking of replacing them, but we're not sure yet.
Okay, so that was the Coast Guard. How far is the Coast Guard from Kavala then? If you needed to get a boat to Kavala.
So if we needed to get a boat to Kavala, direct line it would be 13.5 kilometres. However, obviously, one of the main problems with that is we do have to go around the entire island, and by being in this bay,
the bay
we
area,
have to go around a very large peninsula. So the idea would be not to use a boat to go and help someone there. We would send a helicopter out, as it would be much quicker at getting there.
Right.
It's like in the issue area, and we just pick a helicopter out, swap around, and then we used our diving gear to actually enter the water and do it that way.
We have professional divers, which we do train. They're trained to dive into water that most people would not know heights to dive into. So in case there are rough seas, they can jump into water maybe 15, 20, 25 metres above the water by doing special diving techniques.
Right. So you'd have like a helicopter, you'd fly out there really fast and then dive in.
Yeah. We're basically heading to the fire department one, which we decided, and we talked with the local government to place the fire department main, their substation on the runway, as they have had some problems in the past of some plane crashes,
crashes,
their old fire department not being able to respond in time, as the old fire department, paramedic, and Coast Guard, etc., all operated within Kavala. So after we were brought in, things improved and such. So this is the fire department. Has the most bays of all the stations.
Obviously with the fire trucks and such.
We can fit around 12 vehicles or even more if we really wanted to cram them inside the bays.
So it's the
chopper.
The red, obviously, to indicate the fire department.
Yeah, and again, the heavy duty fences will be going soon. Some gates will be being put up as well to stop civs from running around and obviously putting themselves in hazard and risk, as well as us. And obviously, if we have civs running around the bases whilst EMTs are stationed here, it can severely impact our response time by, say, for instance, they're blocking the vehicles and such. So as again, we have the reception desk and the logo in the reception and doors. If we come inside, there is a control panel for all of the garage doors.
Okay.
Which I can demonstrate.
And it opens all three of them at once, and then if you needed to like rush out all the fire engines go straight out, and it's also like a rolling garage, so you can go out come in through the back, go out through the front, and such.
Yeah. Yet again, some very large weeds started growing in here.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, Mother Nature tried to take over the station. The tarmac was here for quite a long time. We've basically built on top of the raised tarmac. As the government of Altus knew that they would be needing a new paramedic and fire department team, etc., they contacted us and we agreed to come over and sort out their stuff. So we did ask them to make a base. So this has been here for a good year. So small saplings are obviously below the concrete have obviously grown through and become small trees inside. We'll get some professional landscapers to come and tree surgeons to come and take them down. Unfortunately, there's no way to get to the roots without digging up the concrete, so we can't not cut them down, otherwise we would remove them and plant them somewhere else.
Okay, so obviously the fire department, these are going to have like the big trucks and such. Are they also going to have their own? I think I heard you saying each department's going to have a helipad.
They're going to have a helicopter pad as well. They'll probably only have one. We think they're discussing with the architect now. He recommends only one, as fire department's helicopters will mainly only be used for surveying fires, finding them, and such things. Once we get a large shipment of vehicles, like we were saying, we're hoping to try and get some heavy lift choppers for fire department to drop water, and some smaller ones to drop small quantities of water, so we can maybe deal with large fires in cities, and say if a small wooden area is burning down, we can drop a large amount of fire on. A large amount of water on, sorry.
Shall we go back to Kavala, to the paramedic station?
Yeah.
So that's all 4 stations then. Go on.
Yeah. I would like to point out, though, a lot of the all of them, in fact, haven't had their final coats of paint and such, so we're seeing quite very bright whites and such, so those are just like base paints and stuff, so those will be being replaced.
Right. So that's your 4 stations and such. And obviously each of them are getting updated and new stuff coming into them and such. What's the main thing that you're looking forward to seeing? Like coming in for which station?
The main thing I'm looking forward to seeing, for the ones we're currently working on with the Fire Department, Mountain Rescue and Coast Guard, I'm mainly looking forward to the introduction of the offices and the I'm tied between the introduction of the offices, the upstairs in general, which have offices, meeting rooms, locker rooms, showers, toilets, etc., which will make the stations able to be actually used and such by EMTs and stuff. We're hoping to try and get them some weights and some sofas for recreational use for when the EMTs are not on calls.
Buddy left your channel.
Having only one level is an advantage, though, as the EMTs can quickly run down the stairs and get to their vehicles extremely quickly.
Okay, so let's head back to Kavala. So, Robin, what features are you looking forward to seeing with the EMTs coming in?
Well, since it's a new island, we have a lot of opportunities. We also have a lot to learn, so a lot of it's going to be as we learn what we actually need. Of course, you understand, we're preparing for maybe having divisions.
So you're going to be getting lots of opportunities and such?
Yeah, and, it's still quite new on this map. We don't know what the challenges is going to bring the EMTs. So we're going to try to make yourself able to handle the challenges we get. That is one of the reasons we're testing out a little bit out about the division. and we'll see what kind of gear and stuff we get for those divisions. But it's basically the handful of the elements that are thrown against us.
Right. And how are the new recruits handling then, Robin? Obviously, you've had your apps open, you've accepted a few new people into EMTs and such. Is the training going well, or...?
Well, we just started on a new training because it's a whole new system. The driving is quite different from the last island we were on, so people have to kind of focus on that. We put up a driving training so far. Also, checkpoint builder is new. People need to be trained up at that. Revive system is new. They need to be trained up at that. And more advanced training is going to be put on as we evolve the EMPs.
Right, I see. And
Focus?
Yeah.
One of the things I'm sure everyone in the EMT is excited about is we have ordered some EC-135, I believe, Eurocopters, which we're getting them outfitted for paramedic, Coast Guard, etc. use. So we're really looking forward to those helicopters. Obviously, we do have these nice ones which we are being given by both the Russian Federation, the Iranian forces, and NATO to try and help us with this island. As all three forces have done us a bit of wrong by destroying some of our stuff and such, and invading countries and stuff. So they're trying to help us out with some vehicles. So we've gotten things like the Little Bird of NATO, the new Ka-60 that we're hoping to get is off the Russian Federation and such. And the Mohawks we have are from the local Altis Armed Forces.
Right.
But,
so what type of training do people need to know to become a pilot in the EMTs? Do you train the EMTs then straight away as a pilot, or how's it staggered?
It's staggered at the moment. With the helicopters costing so much, as in Chernarus being a third world country, the prices on vehicles are so much lower. Say a version of the Little Bird called an 086A that we used to have in Chernarus cost us around, I think it was $90,000, whereas Altus being a nice first world island, the helicopters like this one cost 1.3 to 1.5 million to get imported over here.
Right, so the price differences has sort of obviously changed and stuff with the job and such, but obviously your paychecks do cover a large majority of that?
Our paychecks, we get around, normally EMTs get around 20,000 a year, and Command get around 30,000 a year. It's not much we might do. We do what we do because we like to help people. We do get grants off the government. With the price of things, such as helicopters and stuff, we do get around $5 million of aid, which is collected through charity and such by those that we help, and taxes and such. We get that and we distribute it between the different stations and stuff. So say for instance a car is stolen and crashed, like one was earlier, we use the budget that we have to replace the car.
Right, so do each station have their own budget then?
Yeah, I got a $1 million budget. I believe each station gets $1 million, something like that.
Okay.
And I have my own paycheck money, and also I own the vehicle shop here, so in this station. So basically, whenever someone buys a EMT vehicle from here, I get a bit of return on it to help run the station.
Right. So if someone was new, wanting to join EMTs, what is the rate of pay like for them? Would
They get around every half a year. They get around $8,000 to maybe $10,000, depending on how good of a job they do and stuff like that, and how the government is and the economic state of the island. So they get a decent paycheck, but most of their items and stuff they are paid for by the EMT command.
Okay,
their cars,
so
their uniforms and such.
What would be the one thing you'd like to say to someone who wants to join EMTs? What's the most important thing you think they need to look at in order to join?
They need to look and know in their heart that they're basically prepared to just help people. We don't really do this for any gain really whatsoever. I mean, we go around, we help people for free. We don't ask for money. We can obviously ask for donations and stuff if we are in times of need, but we don't ask for money for revives or medkits or whatever. We're not in it for cash. We're not in it for any gain really. We're just here to help. And people looking to join the EMTs, they do need to get that mentality in their head. As we've had some people join EMT and they've just not been committed to the job, and we've had to either fire them or they've resigned after a few weeks of service just because they just don't enjoy the job. I've been in the EMT service for nearly a year and a half now. I really do enjoy it, but I know it's difficult for some people to not have a lot of action like they may do if they go hunting or whatever. With our restrictions by the government, we're not allowed to own any gun of any sort or any kind of defense or any legal items and such. So some people don't like not having the thrill of having any illegal stuff or whatever, or they don't like not being able to protect themselves and stuff. But the civilians are quite nice and don't really pick on us, as we don't, we have nothing to do with picking on them. We're also a neutral party. So, say for instance you overdose on something like heroin or whatever, you really do need to tell us. We won't tell the police, we won't tell anyone. We need to know to help you because we need to know how much anesthetic or morphine to give you. Because if you're on an overdose of heroin or marijuana, or even if you're not even on an overdose, if you've smoked one joint the night, we need to give you more or less pain relief and stuff. Otherwise, we could overdose you on the anesthetic or morphine or whatever, or underdose you, so you would be in immense pain.
Right. So, Robin, what would you like to inform people about joining EMTs? What would you like to advertise to the EMTs?
EMTs are a good community. Most of the people get along very well. We change out command now and then, but still it's a quite strong command group we have. If you like to help people, if you like having a good, what do I say? You always get in a good mood when you join the EMTs. It's no doubt about that. So,
right. Well, okay then,
we have a very light tone, but we also
Buddy joined your channel.
We also jump to the action when we are needed. So it goes from very casual to very chaotic quite quickly.
Okay then, gents. Well, thanks for showing the EMT stuff off today. It's been a pleasure.
It's no problem, mate.
Anytime, I remember join the EMTs.
Please, we need people.